So next up, we have James Ashley from CSUSB. He's going to be talking a little bit about the Try Cyber challenges. This is another great hands-on piece. I use this for club activities and also for events. We actually just did one with the Try Cyber challenges at our cyber center here at Towson, where we tried to get people to fall in love with cyber. So this is a great tool. I'm going to turn it over to him. And thank you again for being here.
Thank you very much, Paige. So hello, everybody. Good morning or afternoon, depending on where you are. As Paige mentioned, I'm James Ashley. I am the Director of Research and Development at the Cyber and AI Center at California State University, San Bernardino. And I participate in a lot of different CAE-funded activities, including XP Cyber, which you just saw. And this is another tool that we've built here at our center called TriCyber, and we built this alongside CISA, who currently continues to fund this. And this like XP Cyber, it's free to use, but this one doesn't actually require you to sign up or be an educator. This one is free for anyone to use so long as they're in the United States. They just navigate to trycyber.us, and they can come here and do some well what are generally we refer to as micro challenges. And so the purpose of TriCyber is to allow kind of people off the street, people in kind of their late stage of high school or in the early stage of their college career to learn about and discover and explore the cyber work roles. Unlike the medical field that has the advantage for the average person to interact with different specialties in medicine and then learn about them, like, lots of people know what a dentist is or pediatrics or stuff like that. Cyber doesn't have that benefit. Most people don't know what a network administrator does or what a system security analyst is. And that includes, students. Lots of students graduate with their degrees and do not know what cyber work role they even are interested in operating in. And that's a huge problem. We want to kind of curb that, and that's one of the main reasons why we built TriCyber. So again, kind of, you don't really need anything special to do TriCyber. You just need a desktop or a laptop, a keyboard and a mouse, and an internet connection, and a modern web browser. So if we pop over here, we can see there's I think 12 different challenges here and 10 different work roles from the NICE framework that we currently cover. And each one of these should be able to be done by just about anybody, so long as they're capable of using a mouse, keyboard, and a web browser. Because we kind of hold their hand along the way and try to give them information about that work role. So I already have one of them deployed. They only take about a minute to deploy, but we only have 10 minutes here, so I didn't want to waste any time. The one we're looking at today is the system security analysis work role, and we're going to be assisting a mentor apply a security policy to a workstation. And then there's the nice framework task ID right there. So we have this open over here. So the way this works is, and again, the way that we kind of hold their hand and make sure that anyone can do these, is we have these work role mentors who are going to be talking to us through this text chat interface, and they're going to be kind of pulling us along to help them accomplish a particular task. So in this case, we're going to be applying a security policy. And when I say, we want to try and make sure everyone can do these, we recognize that. So obviously we have a Linux VM over here that we give them access to. And this is a real Linux VM. This isn't some fancy, JavaScript thing that's gonna, you're gonna try to do one command that isn't in the list here and it's not gonna do it. This is a real VM with real tools on it. Um, but we recognize that lots of students who are coming to this for the first time, or people retooling or reskilling, haven't even used a Linux terminal before. So we try to give them the primer necessary to kind of get them going on that. We start telling them about what a terminal is, what a command line interface is. We try to lead them through, how to get started here, really trying to pull them along and start getting them comfortable with the basic tools they're going to need to accomplish this challenge. If someone who's doing one of these challenges already knows how to do this, when they select which text option, they don't have to pick the tutorial. They can skip this whole tutorial if they're, I'm already, familiar with the terminal, for example. And I'm going to turn this chat speed up so we're not waiting for the typing here. Um, and we try to give them these little wins, as we call them. Oops, if I could type correctly. Um, that make them understand like, okay, I'm typing these commands in. I'm hitting enter. It's giving me this output. This is what it should look like. Trying to give them these little wins to try and make them understand and feel comfortable with the terminal. So let's move forward here and look at one of the first part of the task here. So we're gonna kind of tell them, okay, our job at this MSP, and it's described earlier in the thing that they work at a managed service provider. Um, that they're going to be, this is the kind of work we do here. This is what we're going to do today. This is why it's critical. All that kind of stuff. And then we're going to be applying a security policy to this workstation. We try to inject little cyber lessons along the way, talking about confidentiality, integrity, and availability. And then we're going to get into actually talking about STIGs in this particular micro challenge, which are created by DISA. So we have this stig here that we're going to have them basically be applying to this workstation that we're on here. So I'm not going to go through all the text here, but basically she indicates that we want to be looking at this PDF. We tell them where to find that PDF, where to focus on in that PDF. We talk about how to kind of read the STIG, and then we talk about the policy in the STIG and, reading through it, understanding it, what to type into the CLI to, produce certain parts of it here. Um, and then they ask us to actually implement a fix. So let's go down here. So basically, they find by looking at this STIG, this is not the case. The encryption method isn't what it should be. So if we like go ahead and do that here, let's see, let's see. Okay. And then we can see that based on what the STIG is telling us that, oh, this is set to something it shouldn't be. It should be this. So that now she's telling us, okay, this is bad. Let's go in and fix that. And then she explains how we might do that. And again, and we have these automated checks down here that determine whether or not they've accomplished that. So I'm going to go ahead and do that really quick. Okay. Um, and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to find, and I think she tells us how to find that, but Um, and you can ask for help too. At certain parts of these, we provide them kind of a help situation. So if they're like, yeah, I don't know what I'm doing still, she'll give you even more assistance on the first of the two objectives. On the second objective, the participant always needs to kind of use what they learned in the first objective to accomplish the second objective, and they're always basically doing a very similar thing. So in this case, they in the second objective, they'd also be opening this file. We're told line, 200, and she tells us how we might find it. We could find, and then uh, encrypt method. Oh, let's do what she says all the way there. Ah, okay, here we go. Do we need to change this to SHA 512, I believe? Yeah. And then we need to save it and then close it. Okay. And I believe that's what we do. They tell us what it should look like. And then we can see down here this task has changed from red to green. Okay. And then if we were to accomplish the rest of the challenge, the second one would go green, and then we'd get a little hooray, you accomplished it correctly. So this is an example of what one of these micro challenges looks like. Each one of these micro challenges should only take about 20 minutes to do. After the micro challenge, there's going to be a bunch of different resources. A lot of them are from CISA for kind of next steps. If you're interested in learning more about the work role you just completed a micro challenge in, there's a link to the Cyber Career Pathway tool that is on the CISA Nix portal here for that work role. So if you click that, it'll open you to this CISA Career Pathway tool. It'll be open to the work role that you just did a micro challenge for, and it'll talk to them about like what that work role does, what kind of the job titles you might see for that work role, what other tasks they might be responsible for, and all that kind of good stuff. And then there's some other things in here. If you're education and training options through CISA, there's the institution map for the CAE community, all sorts of next step resources that might be useful to someone who just did this and thought, okay, that was great. I want to know more about that work role, or how I might, pursue that as a career. And there's these two buttons up here, try more, that'll just take you back to the interface. And like I said, there's a bunch of different work roles in here, and we're actually in the process of developing um, 15 or 16 more of these micro challenges right now with CISA that are going to be in even more work roles within the NICE framework. So hopefully that kind of, this is a great tool. It's easy to use, easy to get to, no signups, nothing complicated. You just, click, deploy, and go. Um, and if you have any questions or comments about it, feel free to reach out to me or ask me questions here. Thank you.
Thanks, James. Are there any questions for James? What a great tool. I know the problem's going to be you're going to watch all these videos and then where do you start, right? What do you use first and how do you put it in place? But James, if you could just stick your contact information in the chat, that would be great. And we'll make sure to get it out to all of our participants.